what would be if there was just one pearl that you could leave with this group today that you think would make them, give them some insight or something that they could do better or differently tomorrow? What would be the pearl that you would leave for them? Jan?
I think don't do any narrative-less, empty designs for clients just because you just want to throw something on the table. I think you've got to engage the heart of that client with some content on their behalf. It's got to reflect on them. It can't be just a whim.
Right. Yeah, it's not about how many demo stations, the need of a theater. It's got to be a little more of, you know, what is it that doesn't work about your existing booth? What does work? I mean, you want to repeat the things that work, and then you can kind of get creative about maybe you should think about this. Maybe you should bring this element into it. But until you know what works and doesn't work, you're just throwing an idea on the table, and they're going to either reject it or not, and then it becomes just a personal thing that, you know, there's no meaning, there's no function to it.
I think a really good pearl that Jan has already shared is the narrative. What's the story? I mean, it's a maybe a little bit higher level of kind of the thing I keep saying about how do you want to affect somebody? What do you want to be as a result of this? You know, that's really what's the narrative? What is the story? What's the whole thing?
What's the purpose?
I do. I think though that if I guess to try to not just copy what he said, maybe be helpful another way. I think it's about backing off and learning, you know, all of those things about strategy and what their objectives are as a company, as a brand, and ultimately how do they want to affect people? What do they want the result of that to be? And if you ask those questions and you think about it, and as a designer, if you think about it that way, it's a different design process than, oh, it'd be really cool if I had this shape. I saw this shape in a magazine ad and I want it in, I'm going to figure out a way to put it in the booth. It's an elementary level of design, and it's, you know, and if you're not there, if you're more focused on whether it's the nature of your position or whatever, challenge yourself to become more of a the more ideas, basically, like I said, to become more of a marketing strategist. Think about what they're doing, really learn about those kinds of things, and it's, you know, I think that's the biggest thing. I can't tell you how many times we've been told, you know, we went with you guys because you gave us so much more than just a booth. It's the common thread I've heard a lot.